Okay, so I'm recording this just past midnight. It's 12:05 a.m. in the morning, November 7th in PST. So it is the morning before this video is going to be uploaded. So we're going to establish that right off the bat. If there is a free agent signing that takes place between now and 12 hours from now when this video is set to being uploaded, I apologize if this video is outdated and is misinformed. But we're talking a little bit about the Red Wings because a few days ago we saw Steve Yzerman do his big ol' press conference on the YouTubes. And it was pretty interesting. You love seeing these Yzerman Q&A sessions because it gives fans like me and you good opportunities in seeing what's next for the team. So, the big quote that we're focusing on right here was actually tweeted out over here by Max Bultman, so we'll take a look at the tweet over here just to give a visual aid as to those who are listening to this video. Steve Yzerman said on Wednesday he would consider adding another player to the Red Wings roster as the start of the season gets closer. Lots of free agents are still available right now. And back when that tweet was made over on November 4th, that was 3 days ago from this video's current upload time, there's only been one free agency signing as a whole. That was Marco Dano over to the Winnipeg Jets. All the guys that were big, highly touted free agents back when this tweet was made and back when Steve Yzerman said his stuff on Wednesday, yeah, they're still available. So let's go over onto Sportsnet's top free agents still on the market and discuss whether or not any of these guys could be Red Wings. Because if Yzerman's quote reigns true and they want to add somebody, who knows if going to the top of the food chain is their answer here. So first up on Sportsnet's current top free agents list, it's Mike Hoffman. Yeah, it's not going to happen. He's in the market right now with teams like Edmonton, St. Louis, Boston. We saw the Predators going after him as well, not to mention SKA St. Petersburg of all teams. So we made a video about that a few days ago. The fact is, if there's a bidding war going on for Mike Hoffman at the moment, I personally find it kind of unlikely that a Red Wings team is just going to come out of nowhere, swoop in with a $6 million deal and say, here you go, Mike Hoffman, take this, you can leave next offseason. Now, I think if you really wanted to actually do that, there's a philosophical reasoning behind it that does make sense. It's the whole Taylor Hall route, you know? Sign this guy to a one-year deal, let him rip it up with Detroit, #1 power play, first-line minutes, give him that chance to be a star. At the trade deadline, the Red Wings are not going to be that good. They're not going to be up high in the standings. They're not going to be in a playoff spot. So you trade him away, get assets back. He goes over to a cup contender. He plays for the Stanley Cup. He maybe wins a Stanley Cup. And combined with his really good numbers of being a #1 point producer on Detroit, he gets himself a really good contract next year in free agency as well. That's the whole 3D chess kind of thing that you can pull off if you're Detroit and you're Mike Hoffman. But the fact is that there is a bidding war going on for him elsewhere, so I wouldn't really think it's too likely that Yzerman and the crew end up going after him. Next up, though, on the list, it's Mikhail Granland, and this is a very interesting player indeed. We've spoken a few times about Granland, the fact that he is a free agent and the fact that he was one of the better players in the past few years who really just took a nosedive after this most recent season of play with the Nashville Predators. Granland obviously was a very good 40, 50, 60-point guy even at the NHL level a few years ago. So if you're taking a look at it and you're saying, yeah, this guy's only 28 years old, let's see if we can take a chance on this guy and give him an opportunity to get back up to form. I don't really see a guy like Mikhail Granland signing anywhere long-term for cheap. I see more of a prove-it kind of deal, a 1-2 year contract being something that he would probably desire a little bit more. And there haven't really been too many rumors as to who is in the market for a Granland, so who knows if Yzerman comes out and surprises us anytime soon. Next up on the list on Sportsnet's top free agents, it is Travis Hammonic. And for this one, I kind of don't really see it. I think that Hammonic is going to want a longer-term deal. I think that this guy is going to be in a position where he is able to ask for retirement money because he is already 29 years old. Who knows if he goes short? That's just my own personal speculation. But the Red Wings are in a spot where they already added to their right side in Troy Stecher. They already have that Moritz Seider, whom a lot of Red Wings fans are saying could challenge for a spot if he really wanted to and if the Red Wings really wanted to push him that way. To me, personally, there isn't enough room to add on a Hammonic. I mean, obviously, if you add him on, he's probably better than a few guys you already have on your blue line, yada, yada, yada. But I would personally think if Steve Yzerman wants to go out there and spend some money on another free agent, it's not really going to be Hammonic in the conversation. Next up, we have ourselves an older guy. It's Ilya Kovalchuk, still listed here on the Sportsnet article. He is 36 years old. We all kind of know what's going on. If you're a Red Wings fan and you watch some of the Habs videos we make on this channel, you know exactly what's going on with Ilya Kovalchuk. This guy was an absolute fireball with the Montreal Canadiens, revitalizing this team, allowing them to start winning games, and eventually becoming a mentor for Nick Suzuki. He's a very important figure in Montreal Canadiens lore for 2019-2020. But he's still waiting for an opportunity where he wants to go and the team wants him to. Who knows if Detroit's that team? You could try to go the same route that Montreal did, where you took a flyer on him, signed him for $700,000, you do really well with him, and then you trade him at the deadline for a third-round pick or something. You could try to go that route, and we know Steve Yzerman is very open to using his pieces to his advantage. So, obviously, Kovalchuk is just one name that you could try to pull something like that off, but who knows? Next up on the list, it is Erik Hala, 28 years old, coming off of a $2.75 million contract. But Hala is indeed an interesting one. We kind of do know that his best year was 2018 with the Vegas Golden Knights' inaugural season, but ever since then he has been banged up a little bit, so we'll see how exactly that plays into the contract negotiation, whether or not a team says, okay, we're wanting to get you, but we only want to go this far, because we don't have any guarantees on your health. Hala is indeed only 28 years old, so there still is room for him to actually perform here at the NHL level, so who really knows what exactly is going to go on there. You could try the whole Mike Hoffman, Taylor Hall philosophy with him, and I guess you could do that with Granland as well, but it doesn't really feel like a fit to me, so I probably wouldn't say Hala is coming onto this squad unless you're doing it for the intent of trading him away later. But next up on the list, it's Carl Soderberg. Now, we spoke about Soderberg previously because there was a rumor going around talking about how the Vancouver Canucks might be a fit, and yeah, I absolutely disagreed with that. There is no philosophical idea in my mind that justifies that kind of move, both for the player and for the team. But if Soderberg is a guy who eventually makes his way over to the Detroit Red Wings, then who knows? He's got that age, he's got that skill, he's a pretty okay player, but his time in the league is going to be limited. We'll see what exactly happens with him long term, but if you really want to go the same kind of Kovalchuk route with him, I think it is an option. I don't really know if he would actually want to come to Detroit, because if you're that age, you probably just want to go out there and play to win, right? Or if you do sign with the intention of being traded later on, that's the whole 3D chess move right at your fingertips there, but who really knows if that's the plan. Next up, though, Anthony Duclair. This is a very interesting one. 25 years old, he is still a free agent at the time of this recording. We've spoken a ton about Anthony Duclair, but he's a guy who, if he does sign with Detroit, depending on when you sign this guy, you might be able to get him for a little bit of a cheaper deal than what he would have been asking for with Ottawa. We noted this before, but he was negotiating himself. He didn't have an agent doing this for him. He was in a position where he wanted to be paid big money for a team that would have given out big money to its stars, but they wanted to save because they were like, nah, man, we're going to save this money for when Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle and all these other guys who are younger are going to need that money. So he's now a free agent, and he's a guy who definitely does have a good skill set at the NHL level. It's just consistency with him. If you're getting a guy like Duclair, my assumption is you're getting him for the long-term future and not really just to flip him later at the deadline. He's 25 years old. He still has room to prosper in this league. But for Detroit, you guys saw the overall development curve of Andreas Athanasiou. You saw the inconsistencies there. There are a few players in this league, mostly playing for Canadian teams like Athanasiou with the Oilers, Duclair for the Senators, and Jake Virtanen for the Canucks, where you kind of know the talent is there. You just kind of pull your hair out because you know that they're not playing to the best of their ability every night. And if you're confident in a Duclair, you're able to say, okay, we're trusting our coaching staff here. We're trusting the guys down there to give him the guidance to play like that 20-goal scorer every single night. But of course, you still have the debating devil's advocate argument, yeah, well, it didn't happen with Athanasiou, now didn't it? So that kind of concludes our little talk here. We're already at 9 minutes or whatever. We spoke about top free agents that are still available and whether or not Steve Yzerman could go after them because of his expressed interest in going after another player before the start of next season. So talk to me in the comments what you think about all the guys we discussed here in this video, whether or not Yzerman should, would, or could go after them, and if we spoke about nobody that you're actually interested in, who are you interested in? If it were up to you, among the current pool of free agents, who would you want Stevie Y and his squad to add on next? Talk to me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's Ross99, and Bye.